Hey guys, Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. I want to share with you some baseball wisdom that I wish I knew when I was a younger player. And my goal with this is to ultimately help you learn from my experiences, avoid some of the mistakes that I made, and ultimately have more success on the field because of it. So let's just get straight into it. So the first piece of baseball wisdom that I wish I knew when I was a younger player and actually applied is to relax. Relax, guys. Baseball is a game and it's supposed to be fun. And of course I knew that you play better when you're relaxed, right? But it was a different thing to know that it's important to relax and to actually be relaxed. And I'm sure that you can relate to that a little bit. And I think it's hard to relax, especially in the landscape of baseball today, right? You know, from a young age, many of us joined competitive teams and competitive leagues. We're playing travel ball. We're traveling all over the country to play games. And you hear about some players who are getting, they're making verbal commitments to colleges at such a young age. And so all the time, we just begin to press and we begin to make the game more than what it is. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a game. You play better when you're relaxed and you play better when you're having fun. That's the funny thing about it is the more relaxed and the more fun that you have, the more opportunities that are going to come your way in terms of playing in college, playing professionally. But if you're not relaxed, if you're pressing too much, then you're not going to have the results on the field. So that's something that I wish I applied more because at times I put too much pressure on myself. And here's something else I think that you can relate to as well. My dad gave me a great piece of advice and I still remember it to this day, and I try to apply it not only in baseball, right, but in life I think it can be applied as well. He told me, never let the highs get too high and never let the lows get too low. And I think it's so important, right? Because how many of you guys, I'm sure that you feel this way, everybody feels this way, right, as a human being. You go 3 for 4, maybe with a couple home runs and RBIs, and maybe you hit a walk-off, whatever. You go 3 for 4, and man, you were up here. You were on top of the world. Nobody can bring you down, right? Until the next day, you go 0 for 4, have a couple strikeouts, and then all of a sudden, you nosedive into like this depression state. Guys, that's no way to be. We can't get too high and think that we're better than the game and, we're just the best baseball player alive. There's a difference between having confidence and thinking that you're better than the game. When you think that you're better than the game, I promise you it's going to humble you in a heartbeat. So we can't get too high and we also can't get too low, guys. That's why they call it a batting average. Baseball is not a game of being perfect. Baseball is a game of failure. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have 3 hits and then offers, and then 2 hits and then 1 hit and then another offer. It ebbs and flows, and that's why they call it an average, right? You'd be making a lot of money if you could consistently get 3 hits every single game. But nobody gets 3 hits every single game, right? Even major leaguers, they go 0 for 4, 0 for 5, whatever. They only get 1 hit from time to time, and then they go on hot streaks. But my whole first piece of baseball wisdom is relax and trust the process. Realize it's a game of failure, but have fun doing it, guys. Relax and have fun with your teammates. You're out there on the field in the sun, you're sweating, you're getting dirty, you're running around. Relax. The next piece of baseball wisdom I wish I knew as a younger player is don't take the game of baseball for granted. I think it's very easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, in the minutia, right? It's very easy to start taking the game for granted when, you take batting practice every single day and practice gets monotonous and boring. You're going to school and then practice and then eating dinner, homework, and going to bed, and it's the next day the exact same thing. It's easy to get caught up in that, and it's easy to start taking the game for granted. But I promise you guys, your clock is ticking. No matter how great of a player that you are or you think you are, no matter if you're, going to play in college, going to play professionally, eventually we get all told at some point that we're not good enough. Maybe it's an injury or maybe you're too old, but at some point every single player stops playing the game of baseball. And I promise you, when that day comes, you're going to miss the little things. You're going to miss taking batting practice every day. You're going to miss the road trips with your teammates. You're going to miss being out on the field with your teammates and playing catch with your catch partner, right? You're going to miss that feeling that you get when you wake up on the morning of game day knowing that you have a game today, knowing you have a new opportunity. Today's the day that you can walk off, that you can be the man on your team. So just try to ground yourself every single day and realize, hey, I'm such a lucky player right now. I'm such a lucky person that I get to play this awesome game. And I realize this is not going to be around forever, but I'm so lucky that I have the privilege to play another day. You need to tell yourself that every single game. And you know an hourglass, right? Here's something I want you to think about. You know one of those hourglasses with the sand in it, right? You flip it over and it acts as a timer. Well, guys, I hate to break it to you, but that hourglass on your baseball career has been flipped over. From the first game that you played, someone flipped over that hourglass. And I don't know when it's going to be. You don't know. Your parents don't know. Nobody knows when that sand is going to run out, right? But you can't refill that sand. Once your playing career is over, let's say that was flipped over at 10 years old when you started taking the game seriously, and let's say you play till, you're 25. You have the luxury of playing professionally for even a few years, right? Eventually, no matter how good you are, you're going to be told you're not good enough for the next level. You're going to be told that, hey, you're injured and we're going to release you. You're going to be told you're too old, right? Eventually, that sand is going to run out. But the problem is, you never know when that's going to be, because you could have a serious injury tomorrow. Knock on wood, I never want to see anybody have that happen to them, right? But you never know. That's the moral of the story. And so imagine if the game got taken away from you tomorrow, would you look back thinking, man, I kind of took it for granted. I kind of took all the batting practice and all the little things for granted. Hopefully you can learn from my mistake. At times I did take it for granted, and you're going to miss the game of baseball when you're done playing with it. So try your best to stay grounded. Remind yourself how lucky you are every single day. The next piece of wisdom I have for you is leave no room for regrets. And these regrets can come in many forms. It can be as simple as after a game you were mad about something that you did. Let's say you popped up with the bases loaded and 2 outs when you could have come up clutch for your team, and you popped up instead. And let's say instead of hustling down the line to first base and running through the bag, let's say you just start walking to first base. And maybe there's a college coach in the stands or a professional scout, and he leaves after that because he realizes this guy doesn't play the game the right way. That'd be a major regret, right? So leave no room for regrets. It can be something as simple as that. It can be something as simple as, you struck out and you're mad, and on the way back to the dugout, you take off your helmet and throw it and smash it. Maybe you cuss, and you see the look of disappointment on the face of your parents, right? Or again, the same situation. A coach is there, a scout's there, and they check you off the list because you can't control your emotions, right? So leave no room for regrets. Leave no room for regrets when it comes to hustling, when it comes to playing the game the right way, when it comes to thanking your parents and being appreciative of them coming to support you, coming to your games, maybe thanking mom for, giving you those sunflower seeds or that water or Gatorade or the snack in between games or whatever. Just leave no room for regrets, because at the end of the day, like I mentioned, your career is going to come to an end someday, and you don't want to have any regrets. You want to say that you left it all out on the field, you played the game hard, you played the right way, you did everything in your power to make it to the next level, achieve all your baseball goals, and that's awesome. That's an awesome feeling, knowing at the end of your playing days that you left it all out there. The next piece of advice I have for you is don't be such a perfectionist that you forget to compete. And this is something that I really struggle with. I'm a perfectionist in every area of my life. I got great grades in school. I was always a perfectionist in sports. And at times, in life, you say, well, being a perfectionist, that's not a bad deal. Well, at times in sports, it can be, especially in a game like baseball. So a perfect example, something that I used to do a lot, is I would spend a lot of time focusing on my swing mechanics in practice, right? Obviously, that's very important. You have to have good mechanics if you want to be a good hitter. So I would obsess over it. I would videotape myself. I would compare it with professional players. I would try to have the perfect swing. Even though there is no perfect swing, that's what I would try to have, right? And I would think about mechanics and little tweaks to make here and there in practice. And that's all fine and well to do in practice, right? But when you get into a real game, you got to forget that. You can't be brain heavy thinking about all the little mechanical tweaks that you made throughout the week or something like that. You can't do that, because you're going to get brain heavy. You're not going to be able to just compete and relax and play your game. So I think at times being a perfectionist can definitely hold you back. So my suggestion to you, and something that really did help me, is like I just mentioned, During practice, it's perfectly okay. I'm not telling you to just, sandlot ball and don't care about your mechanics at all, because it is important. You're gonna have little tweaks that you have to make. If you're constantly casting or if you're lunging or something, I'm not telling you, yeah, just ignore it. It's cool. Don't be a perfectionist. No, fix it. Fix it in practice, work on it. Find out what you need to work on and rep it out. Get plenty of reps, plenty of swings if it's something to do with hitting, right? But when you get into a real game, it's time to put the mechanics away. When you step in the box, don't step in the box until you are ready to have a game plan of what you're trying to accomplish at the plate, and your mechanics are out of your head, and the only focus is on executing that plan. The only focus is on competing and beating the pitcher standing 60 feet 6 inches away, right? So don't be such a perfectionist that it causes you to not compete to your fullest potential and it holds you back in real games. I wish I would have done a better job at that, but hopefully you learn from this mistake. My last baseball wisdom piece of advice is to be you. It's great to learn from players that are better than you. It's great to learn from professional players, even college players. But don't get so caught up in trying to be someone else that you lose yourself. So I see a lot of guys that try to copy certain players, stances, or they try to copy their swing mechanics or whatever. Just know that what works for some players might not work for you, and vice versa. So it's so important, develop your own swagger. Now there are definitely some absolutes, like hitting, for example. I'm not telling you go up there and create some revolutionary weird stance because, oh, Justin told me to do something different, develop your own swagger. No, what I am telling you to do is copy the absolutes, copy the things that they do really, really well, but make sure that you're playing your own game, you're having your own swagger, because in order to be the best version of yourself, you have to be you. You can't, be so worried about fitting into someone else's mold. Be you, develop your own swagger, develop your own style. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was a little bit of a different format, but I feel like I've learned a lot through my experiences over the years, and if I can share any of that baseball wisdom with you, and if it helps you out, then that's great. So if you enjoyed this video, if you'd like to see more like this, then let me know in the comments section. I'd be happy to build on this and continue and make this sort of a series. So let me know if you like this in the comments section. Be sure to subscribe to our channel because we're coming out with new baseball videos every single week. And last thing, I want to share with you my free Bat Speed Boosters workout. It's 100% free workout that's guaranteed to boost your bat speed and your power very quickly. All you have to do to grab that, just click on the very first link right below me in the description. You can do that now. You'll be taken to a page. I just need your email address so I know where to send this free Bat Speed Boosters workout. So go ahead and do that now. I look forward to seeing you on that page, and until next time, I'm out.